So still the point in it. Possession again being won by Kerry in the centre of the park there. Here's Scanlon. Pushes it out wide to Gary O'Driscoll, league debutant for Kerry. Gives it to Colm Cooper. Cooper just chips it in towards Donaghy. Good clean take by Donaghy, and tried to pick out Darren O'Sullivan. Takes it at the second attempt. Good point by Darren O'Sullivan. And he's pretty disappointed with himself on this occasion. I'm sure he had goal in the mind. Great take by Donaghy. Picked out O'Sullivan, kept his eye on it, and just over. This is Moran. Now Kieran Donaghy flicks it inside. Good ball for Darren O'Sullivan, who's going to run at Cafferkey here. Still Darren O'Sullivan. He's got support inside coming from Gainey. Chance of goal. Good stop by the Mayo goalkeeper, Robert Hennelly. Great work here by Kerry. O'Sullivan instrumental. Set it up for Gainey, and his shot just stopped by Hennelly. And now this is Alan Dillon, the Mayo captain. Long searching ball. Good take though. This is Andy Moran. Support outside from McGarity. McGarity really fancies his chances from a tight angle. Mayo's first point of the game coming to Ronan McGarity. 3 points to 1. Dillon, Father Gardner has a little bit of room to come forward. Pushes it out wide. Picked up here by Andy Moran. Needs some support. Owen Brosnan is back there tracking his run. Good work by Moran. Has a good look at the post, and he really fancied his chances. Well, it's the score of the game so far. Andy Moran raises a big cheer in Castlebar. This is Caniff going forward, being tracked back there by Scanlon. Was he fouled? No, this is the referee. This is Father Gardner. Gives it to Aidan Campbell. And now this is Kevin McLaughlin. Has a look at the post. Kevin McLaughlin, the wing back. Great score. 4 minutes into this second half, and the Mayo wing back joining the attack and getting this point. A very fine score, and Mayo have their noses in front in this second half. This is Cooper, has some support outside him, but just spills the ball at the vital moment. The pressure from Tom Caniff. Now Mayo, can they hold on to possession? You can see just how difficult it is to even get your hands on the ball. The surface so greasy. Chance here for Kerry to try and get a score. This is Darren O'Sullivan. Has a look at the post, and O'Sullivan with a very fine point. And finally a score for Kerry. This is Dillon. Holding on to possession, slowing it up. Padda Gardner, now McGarity. Low ball in, it's a good one. Picked out by Andy Moran. This is Douglas. Neil Douglas, good onto the right boot. Very good score for the sub. Mayo are back in front. Darren O'Sullivan gives it to Mark O'Shea, who gets very forward, delivers that ball in. It's a very good ball to Donaghy. He does well to take it first time. Coughs it up there to Cooper, who twists and turns but can't get the room for the shot. Scoring opportunity here now for Darren O'Sullivan. Rolls it in, takes the return. O'Sullivan is in here for a goal chance. Well, the goalkeeper just pulled him down, and was it a penalty? It was. Well, a needless tackle by the goalkeeper, Robert Hennelly, and it's given Kerry a penalty kick. Darren O'Sullivan causing the damage. It looked like if the chance had gone away, just bounced up in front of him, and Hennelly dragged him to the ground. Why did he do that? It's Brian Sheehan against Hennelly, and he drills it in, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. A great goal for Brian Sheehan, and Kerry are 2 points to the good. Things went well for Mayo despite the conditions, but just coming apart at the end, and plenty of work for the manager James Horan to do as the referee blows the final whistle. Final score in Castlebar: Kerry 1 goal and 9 points, Mayo 8 points.
You know, we know Galway are probably going to struggle in this division now, but we weren't quite expecting their neighbours Mayo to be in more or less the same situation.
Yeah, and Division 1 is such a competitive league that you really need to be winning your home games. So Mayo will be very disappointed not to take the 2 points today, because they were really in the driving seat with 5 minutes to go.
draw, of course, the last day against Down. There was an issue about the pitch the last day, and Darrell mentioned there, Bernard Flynn, in his report, that the conditions seemed to be a bit sticky and heavy on the ground.
The pitch was poor, the weather was poor, the game itself was poor, you know, there's no doubt. It contributed a lot. You couldn't bounce the ball. You watched the whole match as we did today. There was no bounce in the pitch there. It's no excuse for some of the wides that Mayo sort of kicked. 12 bad wides, 5 or 6 into the goalie's hand as well. So the old thing that came back to haunt Mayo today. So Kerry were there for the taking. Pitch was to blame for a poor game, but not to blame for the way Mayo sort of let a game slip. When they had 70% of possession in the second half, they should have closed it out. Kerry were poor today.
They probably
Donica Walsh, and then really nearly loses the ball on the solo and is going to end up over the end line, and the keeper Henley needle-seal tackles him, and you'll see him putting the 2 arms around him, and the referee Maurice Deegan has no option but to award the penalty. But he should have really just shadowed him in that situation and shepherded him over the end line.
Yeah. From a Kerry point of view, Collie, narrow defeats the last day against Cork, but they've got their league win now. What are you expecting from them this year?
It's going to be interesting. Jack O'Connor needs to find a few new players. He's had a few retirements, and then Tommy Walsh gone back to Australia. Yeah. So Owen Brosnan is back from retirement. He played at centre back today and did quite well, so that's a big change for them as well. But they obviously missed the creativity of Paul Galvin there in the half forward line, and Declan O'Sullivan. But Gainey at corner forward did pretty well. He's a new corner forward, scored 4 points, 2 from play. So Jack O'Connor will be delighted to get the 2 points from today and to have seen those players performing.
Very good. OK, Colin, thank you. Gerard Canning.
Only 5 of this Dublin team started last year's All-Ireland semi-final against Cork, including Owen O'Gara and Bernard Brogan in the full forward line. Dennis Bastick and Paul Flynn saw action as substitutes, and tonight Flynn makes a return at right half forward and comes in for Brian Cullen, who's been troubled with a back injury. By comparison, Cork start with 9 starters from that 1-point semi-final win. It's 11 if you include Colm O'Neill and Fintan Gould, who were second half subs. Tonight Paddy O'Shea plays in goal, one of 5 changes from the narrow win over Kerry 2 weeks ago, and Dennis O'Sullivan at right half back replaces the suspended Noel O'Leary.
Slú bra go loch takeíocht de bhlachlia cruníisteach ar nóide. Tus mai ginti bhlachlia sin brogan agus an fastway. Agus an chéad scór am siad Massey Quinn. Tomás Quinn go bhlachlia. Paddy Casanachin Hiner Ifyacus was for Massey Quinn sgur in a cadja agus squilchan canchin had an trasnan. Can fada just a goon your Colm O'Neill pass Broadway Colm O'Neill so that Paddy Kelly thought a slat nacht and he has August punch gloche o ara da slat Paddy Kelly. Pass Tucky White at Colm O'Neill. It's been a question. Gilroy master sauce to Capun. Jermus Connolly, Fernie Vinchin. Jack in Yalishel. Agus pass close away Bernard Brogan. Shut them. Massey Quinn, agus a cool fortune. Fortune. Thomas Massey Quinn. I can pass close to fortune of Felidor na Blina Norrie. Bernard Brogan. Branner a bastion. It's Lenny Chitoig, Kanchin, Corriestach, Gorniel Nahangi, with Massey Quinn. Cool border, Horky enough, Paddy O'Shea, near a chance to Ross again. Shogun, Lockley reached. Declan Lally-inish. Guller Ruher. Fairfalk in the Declan Lally, agus Shoe Lash Jochega. Pass to Gishtahiga, shot the McMenamin, Faradah flat. Brogan, Rashik McMenamin will chance a hole and shot. Paul, Can Elefartic block the year. Kevin McMenamin. Well, on Wout the pass all and change to Brogan of McMenamin. It was Banchik Brogan, Lord going to score in Shano. The Lalier and Ruher. Shen pass wide, McMenamin. Machik Brogan, August Can Scuppy Rashik McMenamin. Pádraig Sans na sáir agus an canchin bord. Seogan Cork inis. Pearson O'Neill is a bass. Paddy Kelly. Rasha Gavar more Pearson O'Neill. Goulding inis. Eric Gitoig sin. Can Glotje, can Allen by Daniel Goulding. Well, Tan Gitoig sin tá Goulding har a vecrin. Mariléir sé glyfi canis na bliana seo. No na bliana nachri. Conor Coonahan. Baganini sásta. Paul Casey, touching pass wide. Barry Cahill inis atá Lord Port genocht. So they ono Garrett, Lon Tosach. Inal Sani. Rashid Brogan. Jackie Barry Cahill. Agus cool ele fortig blocked here. Agus ní minnig Jacka Barry Cahill agam tru cool. Agus canchin toki gamahiige. Far Wauron, har ves ásta. Agus a ríist, ono Garrett sin. Ach Céhogan pass. Jerry, Barry Cahill, and Farshin. Helledor na bliana nachri, Bernard Brogan. O'Gunnig go dinne, Cahill a ríist. Can all in the stach. Brogan. Passing Jerry Kittoig agus. While he'll go just simply on Bellador, gun Scotch of Bernard Brogan. Pass on Jasper Stach by Barry Cahill. Michael Shields are a yihil Gary Brogan can't ach Shinrod Nahuleski legend. Corky Gitchiocht. Jackers Paul Samshow. Pierce Moore O'Neill a job. Axon Punch Tokiega. A Gavahak Fair Pierce O'Neill. So Hogan Brogan a reached. Pass Glotje Stach. Ur 1-0. The Mahig Brian Cullen, Agus Lena Khoshesh, Haran Trastron, Stach a Grokashe Jagan Chin, because he dance after. Jaipur blocked the crew, Agus here she didn't score Shin. He's passed at Cullen, Agus Shinin, Smear, Mully happen.
I suppose putting up the score we put up was pleasing. I suppose we wouldn't like to concede the amount that we conceded, but I think you've got to take it into account that when you're playing in Croke Park in February, fellas are not going to be as fit as they are in the summer, so it maybe was a bit more open from both teams than you'd actually see come the summer, you know.
Well, they say that goals win matches, and that was certainly the case for Dublin at Croke Park last night. And just picking up on that, Bernard Flynn, those goals were the key, weren't they?
They were the difference, you know, a good game, great occasion, absolutely. But an interesting one, you know, Bernard Brogan set up the 3 goals we're going to see picked out earlier on. And the second point of it, and most important point, I think, is that the 3 goals were scored by players that Pat Gilroy sort of dropped last year and said weren't good enough. So we're going to have a look at them here. The first one, sideline kick, you'll see Dermot Connolly, who had a quiet game unusually last night. But just watch the flick coming up here now from Brogan. Absolutely sublime, pure class. And Tomas Quinn, you know, if anyone deserves a goal, he does. You know, he's Lady Luck hasn't been on the side, but watch the flick, the spin, the weight, and then inside beats Shields very handily. But a brilliant finish and a brilliant 1-2. McMenamin, who gave the Cork defence a torrid time. 1-2. The goalie should have come out here, but bang, a player in real form, superb player there. One thing should not have been done last year. Pat Gilroy got rid of him too early on in the championship. I think they missed him. It was a big mistake. But he was brilliant last night all throughout. Should have taken his point on the other occasion. Went for goal too many times. Great finish. O'Gara, you know, who's a little bit disappointed with his use of the ball, but he battled well here. Brogan, watch the way he drops the shoulder, breaks the tackle from Shields again. Did a great battle inside to Barry Cahill, who had a storming game last night at midfield. Really worked the socks off. And the most interesting aspect of it was that, you know, they got 3-9 from play. and they only depended on Bernard for 2 points, which is great. So 3-13 good score, only 2 points from broken play. He was majestic right through, but it was the workmanship of the rest of the team that really I thought was the big